Something that I really haven't mentioned on my channel yet is that I really love scuffed Roblox games, and nothing embodies that charm more than some of the original Roblox games from 2008. And luckily for me, a lot of these games are still around, and the one we're going to talk about today is called Armored Patrol. It's a tank game from 2008 that's been continually updated to this day, and in my opinion, it's probably one of the best tank games on Roblox. It's a little scuffed, but that's kind of because it's old, but it's not inconsistently scuffed, if that makes sense. Like, you're never gonna get BS'd out of kills. So the basic premise of this game is that there's a red team and a blue team, and you essentially hop in tanks or helicopters, and you go blow each other up and try to capture points. And you can earn points to buy further upgrades. So when you log in, you start off with about 3,000 points. That might only be if you've played it before, I'm not sure, but you earn points really fast, so it's basically no big deal. And the best part of this game is easily the combat. It is wonderful. So essentially the goal of a fight is to shoot holes in your opponent's tanks and then kill their body inside, or damage your tanks so severely that they can no longer fight. But what makes this so awesome is that it's got a really intuitive destruction system, so it adds a sort of skill shot mechanic. Something else I think is really good about this game is that literally everything is balanced. Like, I can't point to one thing and say this is overpowered. The ground and air are both balanced, like helicopters aren't OP or anything. In fact, APCs have a built-in counter to that, and that's their anti-air guns. And then even the big tanks, they can get easily outmaneuvered. And the small tanks, even though they can dodge well, if you hit them, you're gonna take a lot of their armor off and maybe even disable their wheels. And something else I like is that they really incentivize team play by not giving every vehicle all of the tools to succeed, if that makes sense. So the APCs, they don't have as good anti-armor capabilities, but they have anti-air guns and often really fast-firing machine guns for infantry combat. So although the large tanks have more armor and more damage to other tanks, they need the APC's help to take down the helicopters, and I think that's really interesting and it incentivizes team play. So as for my favorite vehicles and the ones I think are the best, there's the VEC M1, which is a crazy good APC. It's basically just a medium tank in APC form. It's so strong, and it has pretty much every weapon there is. The M480 Garbage is also really good. It's that giant Frankenstein tank, and it takes so many shots to kill, and you can literally fight 5 people at once without dying, and it really forces coordination out of the other team. Then there's the Leopard and the King Tiger 2 tanks. So those are great, just brawling tanks. They're able to kill a bunch of enemies, but they're not immobile like the M480 is. And then there's the one you're watching right now. It isn't even named in-game because it's a secret tank. You get it by jumping inside of this little secret area in spawn. And this thing can shoot 12 tank shots in one volley, but they're all much weaker than a regular shot. However, as you can obviously see, this thing absolutely screws anything up. You just have to be careful because you don't have much health. But I love it. And you can see in some of the clips here, I got 2 of my friends to hop on too, so we could focus fire things, and people were rage quitting left and right. And finally, probably my personal favorite is the Nashorn. If you buy premium ammo or long-range ammo, you have a stupidly high damaging artillery that can literally hit people across nearly the entire map. You're essentially a tank sniper doing like max damage. It's insane. The only issue is that you can't turn the turret very much, so you're kind of screwed in close range. Now, as for upgrades you should buy, I think you should buy generally everything if you can afford it and you're going to be playing for a while. But the first stuff I recommend you buy are premium and long-range shells. Premium shells are best short to mid-range combat, and long-range is great for when you need to hit someone a little bit out of your range. And then for your 50 cal ammo, buy the auto or the auto premium. And pretty much with these ammo types, make sure you equip them for each ammo type, so you can select the one that you want to edit in the bottom left-hand corner, and then look on the bottom right, and it should say the types of ammo you want to switch to, so make sure you have those equipped, because sometimes you forget to equip them and you've been playing with standard ammo the whole time. Also, you should probably buy binoculars, the build tool, and the repair tool. Those are the best in my opinion. So overall, this game is phenomenal. I love it. I've spent so many hours on it. But I do have a couple criticisms, and most of them are understandable, because it's a game from 2008. But the first one I want to mention is infantry combat is very lacking. It's super scuffed. The first person is terrible, so don't use it. and it really just feels half-baked compared to the rest of the game, which is actually really good. But again, it's understandable to be a little bit scuffed, but I feel like even for the time, it's a little iffy. Now, another thing I want to mention is that generally every vehicle has their niche or their general use that they specialize in. However, some of them just aren't very useful, like the Humvee, for example. So it has a super fast-firing LMG. It's really good for that. You can kind of hang around other tanks and try to laser someone through holes that other people have already made. But the problem is that in general combat, you are completely unable to hurt any other tank unless the body is exposed. But this is an issue because you're really not gonna find people just on the ground that often, so this vehicle doesn't really do anything special other than put you at risk. Now, it's also good for transporting materials, but you could do that in other vehicles that are specifically made for that. So what I would do to fix that is that I would give something like the Humvee or these transport vehicles some sort of like explosive machine gun round. That way they actually have a way to fight back against tanks that try to attack them. Oh, by the way, if you don't feel like grinding points, all you gotta do is set up a private server, which is free. Use the command /givepoints space 1,000,000. Log off, and then go log into a public server, and you'll have the max amount of credits you can have. And I'm gonna be honest, I really don't think they should ever fix that, and in fact, I think they should make it so that upgrades are just a one-time purchase ever, because otherwise, if you have to grind for points every time you hop on, this makes it so that it's not a game that you can just hop on for 5 to 10 minutes and still enjoy. It's something you have to kind of commit to when you actually want to play. It's like if you hop on for this game, you're gonna hop on for an hour or two, so you don't have to re-grind for your points, you know what I mean? But I think just making them permanent upgrades or just not fixing this glitch would be a great idea. But like, if any dev is watching this, don't fix it. It makes the game so much more enjoyable. And that's really why I'm telling my audience. Luckily, it doesn't take long at all to grind. Like, you can get points really fast, but I think taking away that barrier to playing would be phenomenal for the game's lifespan, and with as little players as it has now, that's really important to consider. And so I either think they shouldn't fix the glitch, or they should just make it, again, one-time purchase for your upgrade, and you're good. But overall, this game is phenomenal, and I think it genuinely deserves a fanbase of thousands of players. So I really hope you go try it out, and maybe you'll find something you really enjoy, and I will see you next time.
Bye.